to Constant Smiles.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of the Constant Smiles podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Rich Constantine, and with me today is my co-host, Elijah Desmond. What's up, Elijah? It's been a while, man.
I know it's been too long. Super excited to be back on here, and it's been too long. Absolutely. So everybody's been wondering what you've been up to. It's been a roller coaster ride for so many of us throughout the entire country. And listen, this episode specifically, look, if you are a dental professional, you want to listen. If you want to get some inside scoop into how a dental office works and how it grows, you can listen to if you're a patient. But this episode, you may want to skip to the next one because it's definitely not going to be like the normal ones. But listen, we're going to catch up, share how it's been during this ride during COVID-19 with some genuine stories. But more than anything, the focus of this episode is going to be how has Rich dealt with all of the growth and success of his practice from the time that video hit all the way until now. Hey, speaking of that video, Rich, I know that you had to see the photo that I took last night with that heart in Miami. What was it? What did it say?
I commented. It said, Kiki, do you love me?
Right.
Yeah. I commented on your post there.
I know. And I intentionally didn't tag you just to see if you would see it.
I know.
So yeah, I had to. I seen the it was at the restaurant on the water down in Miami, and I seen that restaurant. The restaurant is actually called Kiki, and there's a heart that has that, and everybody's taking pictures of this heart. It caught my eye. I'm like, man, I'm not about to not get a picture in this heart, but I'm gonna post it and see if Rich says anything. Sure enough, 15 minutes later, there you are. So, man, it was a good night last night in Miami. But hey, listen, the way that we always start off these episodes is we start the episodes with music. We both have this love for music, and look, your music is definitely a different type than mine half the time. I want to hear the song that's been beaten in your car the past few months. Let me hear this song.
I don't know if it's beaten, but I like all types of music. I appreciate it, but recently I've gone from more rap, hip hop, BPM type stuff, and I've really gotten back into listening to a lot of country music. So I like the stories. I like it's just cool stuff to me. So. One of my new favorite artists is Sturgill Simpson. So here it is.
There's no punk getting out there when you ain't living the dream. Like making a big old pot of coffee when you ain't got no cream. I don't need to change my strings, cause the dirt don't hurt the way I sing. Oh, I don't have to do a goddamn thing. Sit around and wait to die.
Oh my goodness. Man, I don't know what to say, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I kind of wish you were singing in that microphone. Everybody knows you can dance, but can you sing?
Hey, if that gets me off of dancing, I might have to start singing. I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old.
Yeah.
I got to stretch before I dance now.
That is hilarious, and you got the John Deere green hat on. I can't be mad at country music. I was born and raised on a farm. Is that old school country music, or am I just hearing some? Is that old school?
So that's a newer artist who has an old school type of style, but he has other albums that he mixes some more modern stuff in.
Okay. Well, I came to podcast with a little bit more of a more Jason Derulo type of song. Can you guess what it is?
As long as you don't get up and start doing the WAP, man.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and play my song for you. It's actually "Take You Dancing" by Jason Derulo.
I should, but my heart wanna stay now. You can see it in my eyes that I wanna take it down right now if I could. So I hope you know what I mean when I say, let me take you dancing. Two-step to the bedroom. We don't need no dance floor. Let me see your best move. Anything could happen. Ever since I met you, no need to imagine. Baby, all I'm asking is let me take you dancing. Like that.
Different song. But you like it? What do you think of my song?
Nah, I like it, man. That's really good.
Now, Rich, I already know it's going to come at some point during this podcast. I'm going to get it out right now so you don't get a chance. I'm growing back my hair a little bit. I just started the other day. Can you tell?
Nope.
I'm just starting. It's just getting back here. It's creeping up. You know, I actually went to, and I don't know if you heard of this. I've been going down to Miami. I got quite a few visits to go see. Have you heard of Dr. Arun Garg?
Yeah.
So Dr. Garg, he's like the one that wrote the book on PRP, right? And he's wrote 8 books for implants. He's an amazing guy. I don't know if you met him in person, but if you haven't, you got to meet him. And he's a good friend of mine. Anyways, he actually he's been taking my own blood and literally, I don't know the science. You're the doctor here, not me. But shaking in the blood in the tube, and it like separates, is it the white blood cells or the platelets?
Yeah.
And then he literally takes a ton of needles. It's like getting a tattoo. Takes a ton of needles and puts it all in my hair. And so, anyways, we worked on the back first. I know you're still looking. We worked on the back first, but anyways, it's a thing. It regrows your hair, the stem cell. And anyways, it's super awesome. And shout out to Dr. Garg for doing that. It's been a good ride so far, but I'm letting my hair grow out finally. And we're going to see what happens. You know, it's only been, a few days, but we'll see what happens in a couple of weeks. I said, look, I'm going to Vegas on in like 2 weeks. If it doesn't take shape by Vegas, I can't wait any longer. I'm gonna have to just go back bald. So
you could just have him do the back. Mullets are coming back in. But you probably should have used cat's blood instead of yours blood because I don't know, that was your chance at some better hair.
Oh, cat's blood. So my wife, her name's Kat, right? And so you're trying to say I should have used hers, so she has the long hair? Yeah. Maybe. But hey, look, I wanted to knock that out because I knew you were going to go in on my hair because you were seeing something or you're starting to.
I'm going to be the first guy. I can't wait to buy you your first hairbrush. I'm gonna get you a whole kit. It's gonna have I'm gonna get you a wave cap. I'm gonna get you some oils.
Oh man, we might have to slide an old picture of me into this video. For those of you who aren't watching, I know we've been a little bit since we've been on the podcast, but this is also on YouTube. So you actually can view the video and actually see my long hair and how Rich is talking about getting me my first brush ever. But anyways, look, now that that's out the way, because I knew it was coming at some point. Look, let's talk about this, Rich. Your video hit, what was it, July of 2018?
Yeah. July
2018, your video hit. And in your dental practice, it completely evolved and changed. First off, from a growth standpoint, how much did it grow after that video? And let's talk about that. What was the growth of that? And then I know pre-show we talked about some of the products and services that you were using to deal with your growth and to help your practice to grow. We'll talk about those as well. I have them written down here to talk about with you. But tell me, what was that transition like? How much did you grow? Did you get a few new patients through the door? What did it look like?
It was pretty nuts because of what I've mentioned this before, but just a few weeks before that, I had purchased another practice and merged it with mine. So we went from, seeing patients out of 3 or 4 operatories to now seeing them out of all 6 in our practice. So we, in order to accommodate the growth, which basically with the combination of the viral video and the new practice, we almost doubled in size. And, there were some growing pains at first, but, we've had to sort those things out, but we've had to, play with the hours a little bit, the doctor's schedules, add hygienists. So all good stuff, but a lot of organization and work and things like that to make sure the transition was smooth, because we were so focused on patient experience and what that meant that we didn't want it to become this factory type feel just because we had to see all these new patients. So it's been really good. A lot of new patient growth and just a lot of awareness in the community of what type of practice we are. So the exposure has been really good from that. And I think that, we were able to take that and do something good with it, which is something I'm really proud of.
That's awesome. And so your practice basically doubled. How long did it take to double? And what was the wait list like? I remember when the video first hit, seeing comments like, well, he's going to be booked out until 2025. But realistically, when it first happened, how long were you booked out for appointments?
Well, that's the thing. So thankfully, I had taken courses where it was stressed on the importance of always having spots in your schedule blocked off for new patient growth. Now, we didn't expect that much new patient growth at first, so we did run out of blocks. So at first, it was a little frustrating because we were booking, over a month out for new patient appointments, which is not good if you want a thriving, growing practice all the time. But we were able to get used to what we needed to do, putting more new patient blocks in the schedule, and it's worked out. It's taken a lot of adjusting, but it's worked out.
That's awesome. So let's talk about some of the products and services that you're using in your practice to help your practice grow and to serve your patients better and to communicate better, that type of stuff. I think the first company that we can talk about when we talk about communication is Weave. Weave is a software that you have put into your practice to help with your growth and whatnot. Tell us the before, the after, and would you recommend it to dentists and teams out there that are listening?
Yeah, first off, I would definitely recommend Weave. They've been integral in helping us manage the growth. Their primary role in our practice has been patient communication. Their systems allow us to communicate with our patients through text, email, sending reminders, sending announcements, all the things that you need to do to keep the patient engaged, to keep the patient up to date of their appointments, answer any questions that they have. And one of the really cool features that they have is that the people in the office can actually sign into it and use their own phones to communicate with patients, and it'll just look like it's coming from the office. So it's a great way to keep that customer service for our patients, and allows us to keep the communication within the team after hours or on weekends and stuff.
Awesome. And I know another thing that was really, really cool with the Weave software, the Weave platform is essentially, everybody wonders what their schedule looks like the next day or the day after. Mm-hmm. To have your schedule all the time in the palm of your hand is game changer, right?
Yeah, for sure. Especially, you want to be a productive, busy practice. So if there aren't patients in the chair, you're not doing well. And what that app allows us to do is I get notifications when a person may have to reschedule, or when a patient confirms or has to, reschedule their appointment. So I can see live time if something, goes missing from the schedule. So then we can have people making calls to other patients that may want to get in sooner or need to get in sooner, so we can move them into that spot. So it really works well with, being able to avoid dead time on the schedule.
Great. As far as text messaging the patients, do you see the patients being very responsive when you text from the Weave app, or do you see it's better with the phone calls?
Many of our patients actually prefer text. The back and forth can be more responsive, because if they're, say, in a meeting, or if they're somewhere where they can't get on the phone, they can still communicate with us. So that's worked out really well.
Awesome. And then for everybody who's actually following, we're going to put the links for these different companies that has been working well for Rich in the show notes. So just know that those will be in the show notes for this way that you guys can go and contact them if you want a demo or whatnot. The next company that I want to talk to you about is actually Legend. And listen, I actually know the owner of Legend myself, and his name's Ian Lynch. I'll tell you something that sticks out before you tell me about your story with Ian. I know you guys have had some fun before, but something that sticks out to me about Ian the most is he came to me and said, Elijah, I have this cause for Christmas, and I'd love for you to support it. And it was called Smiles for Christmas. And, Ian, growing up, he was actually a foster kid, and he did not know when he was, if he was going to get Christmas presents or Christmas period. And essentially what he's did is he's created this organization to where in dental practices all across the country, they put a Christmas box that's decorated into the front office. And essentially you put new toys, and patients put new toys in the Christmas box. And then you as a dental practice get to essentially donate it to a local area of kids that are in the foster care system that don't know if they're going to have Christmas. And so, I was already a fan of Ian's before that, but it completely won my heart over whenever he did something so amazing like that. And I actually seen that on your Instagram timeline that you participated in Legend's Smiles for Christmas. So can you tell us about Legend IT and networking, what they've done for you as a practice during your growth phase, and, if you'd recommend them?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll start off again by saying, yes, I would definitely recommend Legend. The funny thing is, when I first met Ian, who is a super, super nice guy, he's just a great dude. I heard him talking, and he has like this, he's a smaller guy, and he has this raspy voice. And he just reminded me, I was like, he was like that kid in the back of your junior high class that skipped school to smoke cigarettes or something. That's just what he reminded me of, because his voice was all raspy, and I was like, this guy right here owns a big IT company. And people are like, yeah. And so we just started talking, and I just found out how interesting of a guy he was, and we kind of hit it off. And the people at Legend have been great, starting with Ian, but all the people that he set us up with to help us with the practice, they do our backups every night on our server. And I was a little hesitant to work with him at first, not to work with him as a person, but to have my IT company be, not in the same town as my practice. They're in Texas, and I'm in South Carolina, but it has really been good. They are so responsive to our calls. They have someone available all the time. So if we walk in and the power's out or the server's down, they're on it right away. And he sent a technician out to help us get all set up and to go over any needs that we might have with hardware or software. And if we need somebody quickly, they have the ability to source somebody locally to come to our office. So it's been really, really good.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Yes, Legend has saved the day for so many practices, and we're actually working with them with one of my companies as well now. And, listen, whenever all of your information is stored and you're depending on your server, when that goes down, I mean, your practice, it's over, right? So you got to get it up and quick because you need to see your patients and you need your data. So it's an awesome service that he's doing. And also he's fully putting together all of these startup practices. So offices that are startups, I mean, he's getting the servers, all the computers, all the workstations, the cameras, everything. And from the IT standpoint, and he's doing it really good. And they have grown so fast. And I want to relate the growth and the fast pace due to the customer service and the man behind it. I mean, he is a great guy. So like I said, we'll have the information for you to get about Legend networking in the show notes as well.
He's really, let me just say this. Ian's one of those people that celebrates the success of others. So while he's growing himself as a business, he's just as happy to see his clients growing as well. He gets really excited, and that those are the type of people that I think you and I both like to be around.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I totally agree with that. While we're talking about technology and saving data, it's a good time to switch to dental intel. We brought on dental intel in your practice and it uncovered a whole bunch of gold, back, I don't know, about a year ago or something like that. Tell us, everybody, what it's like with working with dental intel and what it's done for your practice.
So I think a lot of dentists run into this. When we come out of school, we come out with medical knowledge, but we lack a lot of knowledge in running a business, which can be very difficult because you're so focused on, treating your patients and what you can do for them and focusing on teeth that sometimes you forget to be, monitoring your numbers. And the only way that you can grow is by measuring your numbers on a daily basis. And it took me a while to figure out how important that was, just because, I didn't know where to get the numbers. I didn't know which reports were important to print off of my software and to compare and look at all those things. So once I started reading about dental intel, incorporating that, the breakdown is all the necessary information that you need to keep your practice growing. It creates a confidence to know what's going on in your practice from a number standpoint, because at the end of the day, it is a business, and you want to be able to, create a good working environment for your team. And when you involve your team into knowing, those numbers, you can set goals. You can set goals not only for the next day of the week, but future goals as well. And they can see that growth, and that gets everybody pumped and excited. So it's been really good.
Absolutely. And then also from a business standpoint with dental intel, they have brought the reality to so many dentists across the country that, during the coronavirus, a lot of offices were like shut down between March and all the way up to May or June. And whenever the offices opened back up, it was like the opening of the floodgates, and everybody's getting excited because it's the best month ever. Everybody's coming in, everybody wants it. And still, it is extremely busy. But what Dental Intel actually pointed out was in the month of, say, late September, October, what happens is that was 6 months post-pandemic. So the numbers are going to go flying all the way down. All it is data. And when I say numbers, I don't mean just production. I'm talking about simply patients showing up to the practice. We all understand the importance of essentially recare, pre-appointment. So a patient comes in and you schedule them for their 6-month appointment. They always get an appointment on the way out. Well, if the patients aren't coming in for 2 months, for 3 months, there's not an appointment getting made. And so there's huge gaps and gaping gaps in people's schedule. And Dental Intel is actually, they're going in and they're installing a snapshot of what your practice looks like at no cost at all, to show you, like, here is where you're at, here's where you're going, and here's a solution for you as well. So that snapshot actually is, it's normally, I wouldn't say it's $1,000, but right now they're running a special due to dental offices in the situation they are. And I don't think there's a cost for that. And so basically it will show you exactly where you're at in the practice and where you need to go. And they actually work with another company called Local Med. And Local Med will actually, between the software of Dental Intel that can pull the patients that need to be scheduled, it will actually send the patient kind of like a Calendly link or availability link, right? But it's a Local Med link. And it will allow them to, the patients to schedule an appointment in your schedule. It's directly in your software and whenever it's available for them. So that actually will help a lot with the time. So with Local Med, essentially you are Dental Intel. Dental Intel is able to find those patients that haven't came in 6 months. And really there is days and days and even, months of work, hours of work that your team doesn't have right now. And what happens is Local Med finds all of or Dental Intel rather, finds all those patients and gets their numbers and actually can text them a link to schedule directly into your software. And so it saves everyone so much time and it books your schedule up. So it makes it so you don't have the empty October, September, November time. So, I'm also a huge fan of Dental Intel and, I'd highly recommend to look into their services.
To all of those who are, considering it but haven't pulled the trigger, you definitely need to do it. But one thing you have to keep in mind is Dental Intel pulls all of their numbers from your software, your dental software. So if you and your team are not entering the numbers like you're supposed to into your system, it will spit out incorrect information. We learned that on a few things the hard way, and we finally figured out what we needed to do. And now it's been great. So make sure that you're putting correct information into your EagleSoft or Dexis, so that when that Dental Intel pulls from it, everything's spot on.
Yes. So, they say if you put in crap, you get out crap. So I totally agree. So good advice there. And look, it would be at least worth reaching out and getting a snapshot from them to see where you're at for the rest of the year. So the next one we have is Stream Dental HR with Samantha Leonard. I know from literally the first month or two when you started using Stream HR, you were just a huge fan, and I'm curious to hear how that journey went, what it was like pre and post Samantha, and how things are going there.
Yeah, so Samantha was integral in helping us to manage the rapid increase in team size for us. We had, gone from a team of like 4, and now we're up to a team of 12 now, I think. So to grow that fast in that amount of time, you need to make sure that you're, dotting your I's and crossing your T's on a lot of the HR aspects of things. So she, Stream and especially Samantha helped us to put together a very thorough, complete office handbook for our team members. We have hard copies and we have digital copies that all of our new team members, sign when they come on board. Just a lot of great advice on how to handle things in the office, from, an employee standpoint all the way down to, the things that you need to do to make sure that you're following all the guidelines in your practice.
Awesome. Yeah, I know a lot of dental practices that use Samantha and are very happy. Our next one up is Front Office Rocks. And Laura, who used to be Laura Hatch, is now Laura Nelson. So congratulations to her for getting married. But Front Office Rocks software, and how has it been with working with your team?
Yeah, so first off, Laura's another really cool girl. Got to spend some time with her on the Smiles at Sea cruise. So that was really fun, spending some time with her. I know my wife really enjoyed spending time with her too. But their program is really great because when you introduce people into your practice, especially people that don't have that much of a dental background, sometimes you don't have all the time available that you need to take to train someone up. Or if a patient wants, or if an employee wants to learn more beyond what they're able to learn during the day, because with patients coming in and treatment going on, the focus is on them. and sometimes they need to take a little time out, either during the day or at home, where they can, go through some courses and some lessons to learn more and help them to feel more confident. And Front Office Rocks has just about anything that you would want to know about a dental office. It's been really good in helping train up our new hires.
That's awesome. Laura's actually came up with this amazing, thought process. She's like, a lot of the best employees actually come with no experience. So they have like no bad habits.
No
and
bad.
yeah. And so basically there's offices that put them through Laura's training from start to finish when they onboard. And that is their onboarding process. Like they don't come on board unless they go through all Laura's training. And Laura's training will teach them from start to finish what they need to know. So I really like that angle of just hiring somebody with a fresh slate that doesn't have any bad habits. And so that's something that's super amazing. And she's also coming out with some good stuff for the back as well. So it's awesome things that she's created. The next one is Bird Eye. How you started using Bird Eye, and man, do you get enough good testimonials or what? I mean,
Yeah.
that's all you're on your page. I'm like, man, this might be a photo he posted. Nope, another 5-star review. This might be a photo. Nope, another review. I mean, you're getting reviews constantly from patients. Tell us how that's been using Bird Eye.
Yeah. So before we started using Bird Eye, if we wanted a review, we always had to remember to ask the patient, and we still ask the patients because it means a lot of us to get that feedback. But we would get busy and we would forget to ask or whatnot, and then the patient would forget to do it, or they'd go home and you have to log in and sign into your email in order to leave the review. Well, using Bird Eye, they immediately after the patient leaves, they'll send a text message or an email with a link on the ability to leave a review, whether it be a Google review, a Facebook review, or just a Bird Eye review that will show up on your social media. So it's been really good. Before we started using Bird Eye, we had, I think, 80 some Google reviews. And last week we just had our 300th Google review. So
wow.
It's been really, really good. And it's the convenience factor and the ease of use for the patient, which is why I think it's so successful.
Wow, that's awesome to get that many reviews in that short time.
Yeah.
But I just know that they were auto-populating your Facebook page like crazy, so I see them all the time.
Yeah.
So you're definitely doing something right to get that many 5-star reviews. Cool. And the next one that you've been using, that's my company, Driven Dental Implant Marketing. Can you tell us your journey with that and how it was with the implant marketing company?
Yeah, I'm still waiting on my T-shirt, but
I'll get you one. We actually have new T-shirts made that says "Hero" right here.
Okay.
And the back is like a doctor, a woman doctor and a man doctor that they have like kind of like action figures, but they have capes on the
Cool.
back in their shadow. It's pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah, Driven was great. We started using them about a year ago. We were really wanting to start to do some implant-specific marketing. We are super thankful for our growth, but we wanted to start marketing towards specific procedures. And this was the first time we had ever done that. And after I met you and after I met Charles, I was like, let's do this. You're some good guys. Let's see how this goes. And the response was, I mean, if you remember, it was pretty crazy.
Didn't you get like 200 leads like in your first month or plus 200?
Yeah, we got plus 200 leads, and I think our experience has helped you guys add some new features to your company as well. But when you get that many leads, you have to basically there's a lot of homework that goes into screening the patient, educating the patient, setting the patient up with, financial arrangements if they need it. So that's a lot of legwork. So if you don't have a big enough team to focus on that, and you're having them pull them from something else that they're supposed to be doing onto doing something like that, it can be rather stressful, or you're not maximizing the service that Driven provides. So mid-COVID, we took a pause because our practice is only so big, and we can only accommodate so many. So we took a pause from Driven, but we'll definitely be going back.
Absolutely. And you bring up some important points. First of all, let me go ahead and set the record straight. Not everybody gets over 200 leads. Right? You got over 200 leads. That is not, it's not the norm. We get a lot of leads, but here's what it came down to at the end of the day is you were the year of the call center. We call it 2019, the year of the call center, to where we noticed that offices just didn't have the time. They didn't have the time to follow up on the leads, to call the leads in a timely manner, et cetera. Nobody has time for that, right? And so we decided that we would bring on a call center. And when we brought on the call center, it worked a lot better than than offices were doing that were overwhelmed. But we were still missing something. See, the call center didn't have dental knowledge. The people that were answering the calls, they didn't have dental knowledge. And so we ended up doing away with the call center. And during COVID, what we did is we went and we hired 7 extremely high-level treatment coordinators. And these treatment coordinators that we hired, essentially what we did is we had them on Brian Harris's software. Do you know who Dr. Brian Harris is, by the way?
Yeah.
So he owns Smile Virtual. Smile Virtual is like Zoom on steroids. It's so good. It's like perfect for the platform for dental practices. And so basically what happens is we're doing the marketing to patients that want these big, high-value dental implant cases. The truth of the matter, though, is that unfortunately not everybody can afford this type of treatment. What happens, though, is that all of these patients, they come into the office typically, and they overwhelm the practice, and most of them can't afford the treatment. And because it's expensive, dental implants. They are expensive, and not everybody can afford it. Well, now we have all of the marketing going directly to our treatment coordinator as a marketing company in-house. And essentially the treatment coordinator is having a virtual consultation and educating the patient, because that's exactly what the patients want. They simply want to be educated and to understand what a dental implant is how it can change their life. And then from there, can I afford it? So they actually get them financed with, whether it's Care Credit or another finance company ahead of time before they get to the practice. And if they can't get the financing, we don't even send them to the practice. So now we're going from sending 30, 40, 50, 60 patients that some of them don't show up, most of them don't approve for practice. Now we're going from that to sending patients that are pre-approved, $25,000, $35,000, $45,000, $50,000 ahead of time with financing. And we're then scheduling them in for the office. So the office does nothing but essentially get that patient that's already pre-approved. They've already been educated. The relationship is there. So they're going to show up, and that patient is now ready to move forward with treatment. So we don't no longer deliver leads. Now we deliver patients, which is entirely different.
And I know some of the people that are in your call center, and, going back to what you said, it's important that they talk dentistry. But I think what sets you guys apart is that those people are listening to the people on the other end. They're listening to what type of situation they're in, what type of treatment fits their budget, and then they make that work for them. Because a lot of people don't know, what's all involved. It might be fear that's holding them back. It might be finances that's holding them back. It might be time of the procedure that's holding them back, So to have somebody on the phone talking to them and knowing that the service that you're using and you're able to be confident in what those people are telling the potential patients, invaluable.
Right, absolutely. So I feel like, look, there's going to be, we're setting the standard, in my opinion, for specifically implant marketing companies. and marketing in general. Look, the world's going virtual now, and people want to have a consultation, a lot of them from their home. And so we're able to do that and not take the dental office's time and resources up and just deliver them patients that are ready. And the patients are the most important thing here at the end of the day. You know, we want to help our patients and we want to support the patients that essentially want to get the service. We also don't want to take them through wasting their time going to the practice. We want to educate them from their home, and we want to get them financially ready from their home. And if they can't afford it, look, it's okay. There's no judgment whatsoever, but we want to know that instead of having to waste your entire time by going to the office, sitting through an entire consultation, all to at the end, you know, figure out that you can't get approved for financing. So anyways, yeah, so that's Driven Dental Implant Marketing, and that'll also be in the show notes. Rich, is there anything else that you'd like to discuss on your practice growth or your team, your personal life that before we get off here and wrap up to the next show?
No, man, I think just looking forward to the weekend. We had a great week at the practice, did some team building this morning, and went really well. So I'm amped to get into next week.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, while you were going through the coronavirus situation with your practice, you know, with seeing emergency patients only, then going back and trying to find a new norm and trying not to walk in there with an astronaut suit on, right? And a mask you can't breathe in. You know, I have had my businesses that I was trying to pivot and change. And of course, you know, I have my Smiles at Sea dental cruise. And if you can imagine what it would be like to own one of your main businesses being an event business, number one, and on a cruise ship. I mean, I feel like I had arrows flying at me from all across the world, like it couldn't get any worse. But, you know, it's going to be okay. I think 2021 will be the best year ever. And our marketing company's grown 3 times the size. And now we're on a wait list for Driven Dental Marketing for 2 months. And can't even take on any other offices at this point. So you got a wait list for that. And it's just, look, it's been a struggle. I think everybody has to pivot during these times. I think it's super important, the pivot. And as you know, one of my big things was getting into the high schools and doing motivational concerts for the kids. And I had my first motivational concert booked, 8 high schools. And I had to get canceled because of COVID-19. And so now I'm like, okay, how do I still make an impact on the kids? And how do I go into the high school still and figure it out until the world comes back? And so I'm actually going to be going and shooting in the studio on the 8th of the month and doing a whole bunch of motivational minutes about, getting over, not going to graduation and, what the rest of life is all about, and cyberbullying. Now people are on the computer all the time and their phones all the time. People are getting miserable and they're putting it on to kids. It's not, that's not good. And how to stand up from behind your school screen and get active. I almost put on the Corona 20. Now I lost all but 3 pounds. So I'm back to where I was the last time we were on this show. But man, being healthy is important. And I think that, kind of comes full circle of what Constant Smiles really was all about, happiness and taking care of yourself and taking care of your body and family and time balance. And, we're going to have some more of that on the next shows to come. As we find some more guests to interview. We were getting on a roll and then we just got kicked off from Corona. So, those are my thoughts. Anything to wrap up, Rich?
No, man. Just glad to see everybody, back up and running, and for the most part. And just got to find the positive in all of this, and we'll come out of it strong.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you on the next Constant Smiles.
See ya.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Constant Smiles.